Yes, you've taken on people like the late Sherry Ayittey and, of course, the former finance minister, Tepe. You've described them as evils. Why?
Because they were not thinking about the general interest of Ghanaians because we didn't have ambulance. And Ghanaians needed ambulance. And they were thinking about their personal interest.
Explain further.
Further because Sherry Ayittey, for instance, said, I should tell my principal to come and meet her halfway. And I said, what do you mean by halfway? And she said, oh, you're a businessman. You should know when someone tells you to meet him halfway, you should understand. So go and tell them.
Did she explain the meaning of halfway?
That's what she said.
Just now you pay bribes?
She said, no, she didn't tell me bribes. All that she said was that, tell your principals to come and meet me halfway. If they want
what understanding did you get from that?
If they want this ambulance project to go through. And I told her that, I used to call her Ma. And I said, Ma, you are Minister of Environment. By the time you came, this contract had already been signed and was already moving on. Yours is just to send the team to go and inspect in fulfillment of the pre-shipment inspection clause. And governance is continuum. So you must send them. He said, Jakpa, I am not interested. Tell your principal that they should come down and come and meet me halfway. They should come and renegotiate and meet me halfway. And I said, what do you mean by halfway? He said, you're a businessman. You should understand when someone tells you meet him halfway.
She expected you to understand
halfway. That coded language. No,
but as an intelligence officer, that should come very naturally to you.
Pardon?
That you'll be able to, decode the meaning of halfway and then,
Well, and so long as I was concerned, there was no halfway
to be met.
Because her predecessors never met my principals or me halfway. In fact, the contract was signed by Honorable Abraham Bagbin. Bagbin never demanded any halfway meeting.
The current Speaker of Parliament.
The current Speaker of Parliament. Not even a CD. Nothing for you to even interpret in that angle. He just did his work.
So by your suggestion, Sherry was demanding bribes?
Per my suggestion, well, that was the interpretation I was getting. That meet me halfway, you're a businessman. When someone tells you, you should understand what the person wants. That's what she said. It was a coded language. So, and I understood it from that angle. And I said, Ma, there's no halfway to meet you. They said, okay, fine. Then she walked away out of her office. So I followed her up. So that is where the issue started.
Right.
By that time, she had already written her letter to my principals, that they should stop productions, and then, they should come for renegotiation. It was all in tandem of meeting her halfway. But you see, I told her, I said, Ma, one thing you must understand. You as a minister, you don't have the authority to just cancel a contract or suspend a contract without recourse to the contract terms of termination or suspension. That is one. And if you are no longer interested in the contract, this contract went to Parliament, went to Cabinet, raise a memo back to Cabinet and go and explain to Cabinet why you don't want this. And when Cabinet gives you the approval, you can go ahead. But on your own, you can't vary an internationally binding contract.
Already agreed upon.
And production is going on. Monies have been committed by the supplier because there's no advance payment. So the supplier had to go and get his own loan to start production. And then you didn't even consult the Attorney General's office to give you advice on this letter you've written. And you on your own, you said this is stop production and that they should come for renegotiation. On what basis? He said, Jakpa, don't wear this your cap and come and be telling me law. You know, come and teach me law over here.
And I said, Tepe?
No, that was Sherry Ayittey for you. So Tepe's own was very simple. After the approval by Parliament for the loan facility to be procured from Stanbic Bank to finance the ambulance so that it wouldn't put burden on the budget of government and to give government about 3 years to pay so they can allocate resources from the budget for other projects. Tepe took over. It had already been approved by Parliament. So you can't reverse it. Stanbic Bank has signed their column and forwarded it to Minister of Finance. In fact, Honorable Kobna Dufour was going to sign it before leaving for the drawdown to start. But then he said that, the new president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, had just nominated Sir Tepe
to take over from him
as vice. And Sir Tepe was going through the vetting process. So it would not be fair
for him to sign
when he is just leaving office and he knows Sir Tepe is coming. In any case, It has gone to Parliament. Stanbic has already signed. Everything has been done. It's just in the tray. When Tekpe comes, he will just come and sign it, and the drawdown will just start. There's nothing to be done about it. So Sir Tekpe was confirmed. He took over. The man handed over to him, and the man just disregarded what Parliament, the sovereign will of Ghanaians, wanted.
What explanation did he give?
He's the best person to explain. So for 2 years,
even though as of now,
I'm telling you, for 2 years, this man refused to establish the LC, breaching the contract. And the contract is very specific, that the LC shall be established upon the signing of the contract, which is immediate. But for 2 years, Sir Tekpe would not even come. He doesn't want to even go there. He was interested in other things. So Big C had no other option than to serve the Attorney General notice to sue for judgment debt. The Attorney General perused all the documents Big C has submitted through their lawyers and came to the conclusion that Big C had a valid contract because all the contract terms had been met. So the Attorney General issued his legal opinion. And you and I know that Attorney General legal opinion is binding on all MMDAs of government. Because if you misconduct yourself as an institution of government, the one to defend you will be the Attorney General. So the Attorney General wrote to the Minister of Health that your conduct and then to Sir Tekpe will occasion judgment debt because this contract is valid. It has gone through all the processes. It's gone to PPA. And PPA is an institution on its own. They have a board and they have perused the contract, done everything and awarded it. So go ahead, you must proceed. And the word was, you must proceed to honor the terms of the contract. And what are the terms? The LC that is in the contract. You must honor it. But because for 2 years, Sir Tekpe, for his own reasons, refused to obey the will of Ghanaians through the Parliament. When the pressure came from the Attorney General's office, he then wrote to Big C, and that letter is in court, that, Big C should give him some time. He's arranging to establish the LC. 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, Accusations signed a letter for the LC to be established. So you can see the correlation. Good. So it was not established out of a vacuum. It was established because
of the pressure that came from, and then the fact that we were in a position where we could be started with judgment debt.
Thank you. And the AG had made her position clear. But there's one important issue. I want to link it. You see, when Sir Tekpe wrote that letter to Big C, promising them and showing them that he was processing the LC for them, so he's giving some time, he's getting it done. 3 weeks later, a Accusations letter came. So you can see the correlation. Good. So when Sir Tekpe came to court and said he authorized Accusations, it was very clear that he authorized because he had already promised Big C, he Sir Tekpe himself, in an official letter. And 3 weeks later, Accusations wrote that thing. And Accusations signed for the minister. And the minister was copied. And he had it. So if the minister didn't authorize Accusations to sign it, he would have immediately countered it because he had the power and stopped it. But he never stopped it.
The authorization, was it verbal or with documentary evidence?
You see, when you are working with your deputy, for instance, you can give your deputy verbal or memo. That is at your discretion, based upon the exigency of the issue and where you are. In fact, to be frank with you, as at the time said Accusations was signed that letter, Sir Tekpe was in US. Wow. He was not even in the country. So you give the man a verbal instructions, you were outside the country, and the man is your deputy holding the fort. So he signs for you. You come back, you see the copy in your trail. The LC was still going the process of being finalized. If you're not the one who signed, what will you do? You just refer to it. So it's very clear.
Time is running up on us. Yeah. Let me ask.